Yeah, you can go ahead and share it anytime and let everybody else log in.
Okay, I'm just getting into Insight and then I'll share my screen.
So welcome to the fourth class. Couple things. I'm going to switch up the agenda on the syllabus a little bit. Today I had going right into drill through reports, but then I realized we can do drill through the dashboards. You know how to build dashboards, but not reports yet. But it can be hard, kind of conceptually hard for you to drill through the report until you know how to build a report, right? So I'm going to switch today's and next week's sessions around, and we're going to learn how to start building reports and creating parameter filters so you can drill through to dashboards today. I may have a few housekeeping items from last couple of weeks. I want to work with Sam a little bit, and then also we had some questions about pulling in Excel files from apps, and I want to go over data module a little bit and what your capabilities are there. And I've got a video to share with everybody that's interested in the data modules as well. There's a couple of videos that I'm going to share. They're not with IBM, so we can't post them, but they're good for you to understand if you're going to be using imported files. All right, so Sam, if you want to go ahead, and
yes.
I'll do my best to.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit rusty at this. But anyway, my dashboard is, I was doing open findings by audit protocol. And so what I couldn't figure out last week was this site, Norcraft Liberty, was showing 179 open findings, but if I went to the audits module, there was only 171 findings. And then Dawn showed me how to pull over just active findings, and now I don't remember where I got that from because I didn't save it. So
okay. So you've got an edit mode. So open your data, and we're going to search for it, and it's called record status. Okay. And in audit management, there are going to be 3 record statuses. One for audit, there you go. One for audit, one for finding, and one for action item.
Okay.
So leave that window where it is. Go over to your fields. So click on your visual. Click on your visual first.
Yep.
Or now you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you hover over your fields pane and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see local filters. So drag the finding record status into filters.
And just active.
There you go. Okay, and since we're in audit, we've just had a couple of, or a big hot fix, or kind of a hot improvement to the data packages, and I'm going to take this opportunity to go over it with everybody. So if you're using audit, we have created new enterprise fields that are going to operate a lot faster. You notice how long this takes to load? We've had a lot of challenges with clients, especially when we have large amounts of data that we're gonna fix. So if you go ahead and clear your search bar, and I'll show you where the new enterprise fields are. So collapse. Oh, there you go. That number came out good.
Yeah, that did it.
Okay, so collapse your findings, and let's go down to your enterprise structure.
Okay.
Open
Okay.
enterprise structure, open level 0. Okay, do you notice here, now we've only got 3 data items in here. Before we used to have a whole bunch of them. If you scroll down a little bit, okay, scroll down into your set. You see the bottom there, enterprise structure, do not use. Okay,
Mhm.
open that up. And these are our open level 0, top one, yeah. So if you can see here, we've got all these status, status created or comments, classification type, created by, created date, last updated. This data table right here brings in items from multiple sources. So it really, I mean, I'm not explaining very technical level, but having these extra fields in there that nobody really uses slows up the filtering process. So we've added the data items above to use. So what I want you to do is delete the level 0 item in your tab filters and bring in the new ones. Okay, not there. Just go to
Okay.
your filters, level 0. You've got for home brand. Over to
Oh,
the right.
yeah, right here.
Yeah. So click on that and click delete filter.
Okay.
Do the same thing with level 1.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to bring in our new ones. Now you don't have to do this. If your reports and audits are running fine, you don't really need to. Okay, go ahead and bring level 0 in. Don't open it.
Oh, no, that.
Yeah, no, you can drag it in now, but you don't need to open it. It's just
Oh, okay.
it's just
Okay.
showing your values when you open it up. Sometimes it can take a while.
Gotcha. Okay.
And bring in your level 1. And you might have used these already. I'm not sure. That filtered a lot quicker, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really change your values because I think
Right.
you're just reporting. You don't have a whole lot of data.
Well, my local filter is only master brand cabinets anyway, so it
Okay.
didn't.
Yeah,
Um,
that's filtering by the protocol. So yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, good job. So if you have dashboards or reports that we've created for you in audit and they're running slow, put in a ticket and we can make these changes for you, or you can go ahead and try to make a copy of the report and make the changes yourself.
Okay.
You could bring it to class and I can help you make the changes if not just for you, but for anybody.
Okay. I had one other question on like in our class, you had showed us how to do the colors so that every bar was like a different color.
Hmm.
How can I do that?
Okay, so you want to make a different color by location?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so find your location field under location details, location code, excuse me, and
Okay.
you see in your yeah, it's down a couple. Uh, keep going down. No. Keep going down
Oh,
in the structure. Yep.
oh, yeah. Okay. Here.
And then drag in location code and put it in color.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so a couple things here. You can tilt the value of the location if you want to put it sideways. That's kind of hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
You can remove the,
These.
yeah. Do you want to see how to do those?
Yeah.
You go up to your properties,
Okay.
properties pane. Okay, so let's go to Axis. Put up Axis. scroll down to your first, okay, here, uncheck item access title, because you know those are location codes. Okay, scroll down a little bit farther. Okay, stop here. We'll go back up a little bit.
Okay.
At the very top, you've got action item label orientation. Or see where it says automatic?
Yeah.
So click on that and go to rotate.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Now scroll down all the way down so you get to legend. Open up legend and uncheck show legend.
Okay.
Okay. That's a good way
Awesome.
to clean up your visual, less labels and things to
Yeah.
people. All righty. Anything
All
else?
right. No, that was it. Thank you. All
Okay, you're welcome.
right.
Okay. Also, last week, I think Rich asked if I sent out recordings, and I did not last week. So I will share recordings after today's class as well. So let me share my screen. And do we have any of the attendees that were last week on that were looking to that were building data that's from app data, imported app data?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to share with you a few things about data modules, and go into here. The first thing I want to do is I want to share video, a couple of videos for you. I'm going to put these in chat. Oops. So this is a good video. It's not in our library because it's not from IBM. It's from a consultant, so we don't want to put it in our. We can't put it in our application, but I can share it with you here. So this is a good video to watch to help. But we also have in our help site, or our help area in your dashboard. If you go to help, go to training videos, and blow this up a little bit. So here, how to upload your own data. If you watch this video, it's short, but it's very helpful, and it shows you how to create either create a dashboard directly from an Excel file or use it as a data model. So I'm going to expand a little bit more into what the difference is, and show you some of the features that we have available for you in a data module to manipulate your data before you get into the dynamic dashboard or a dashboard or a report, and some things that are coming relatively soon to data modules. And you're going to see something called calendars if you watch that video. So I'm going to go to my content, and I've got a file here. Now from here, I can create a dashboard or I can create a data model. So this is an Excel file I uploaded by here, uploading a file, okay? Now, if I go create a dashboard, Okay. Now this isn't bad. This I've got a lot of measures. This is actually an extract from from Insight that I use in another platform for creating dashboards at facilities on TVs. But you don't have a lot of control here, especially if you're using a flat Excel file that you've exported from your app. So to give you the opportunity to manipulate and manage your data items before you start building a dashboard, that's what your data modules are for. Okay. So if you create a new data, or so two ways, you can create a data module and assign the data, the Excel data, where you go to your Excel file that you've imported. Remember, put it in the team. I don't have it in team content, or maybe I do somewhere in there, but you should put it in team content, or else nobody else is going to be able to see that data. So go ahead and create a data module. So here, it lets you do several things. One, if I just click on the data module here, it lets you view all of your data. So this is your raw data in your file that you've uploaded. You also, now if you see row ID, this isn't in your data model and it's out. This is for, just for your purposes. You can make this visible if you'd like, but it's just there for administrative purposes. But it's not going to show up in your data. Okay, that's why it's grayed out. But if you wanted to, and if you have data here, and you've got a lot of functions that you can manipulate this data and change how the data is used or set up for you when you build a dashboard. There's several ways that you can do that. So for example, if you are looking at your total hours worked, go to your properties. There's a lot of stuff you can do here, like formatting the data here. If you go to properties, you're going to see a whole lot more options for you to manipulate. So you can change the title of the label. You can hide this from your users if you don't want them to use that data. You can change the usage to different options. Now, aggregating it's pretty good at doing a default, but you can, this is when you do a sum or summarize in your tables and crosstabs in your visual. So this will set the default of how you want to aggregate the data. Data type, that's pretty much set the way it is. Represents, default, lookup references, none. So there's not a whole lot you can do with the measures, pretty much just the totals. But if you have for example, another type of field, and I don't have a whole lot here. Let's see if I can find another data module. Anyway, this is really good for you to select and manipulate and change the properties of your data before you start using it. Now, if you watch those videos, they mention something called linking it to a calendar. Now, if you link it to a calendar, I think this is where we're having some challenges because we just had a date field and you wanted to make relative date fields available so you could filter by year and filter by month without having to do a complicated data expression. We are coming out with new calendars shortly I was just on with our VP of Business Intelligence, and he's working with IBM to make sure that these Excel files can link to our data packages and data modules. It's a little bit bug in IBM that IBM's got to work through. But once that happens, we're going to make calendar data sets available. So you can take your raw data, you'll be able to add a new source, and we are going to have within your process map library calendars. Now, calendars are going to include calendar year, but they're also going to include fiscal years, okay? So if your fiscal year starts October 1st or January 1st, well, I guess that's calendar year, March 1st or July 1st, you'll be able to select those and group and filter your data based off different calendar functions. And when that comes, it's going to be a huge game changer for these. We realize it's something that we're gonna share with everybody. But I just wanted to go over that with you guys who are interested in uploading data sets or data Excel files and using those in reports. I know it wasn't a whole lot. There's a lot more we can do, but please watch those videos. That video I shared and the video I had. Here is where you can join relationships with data tables, and you can build custom tables as well. This is something I'm not real familiar with. But if you are interested in managing your data, and this is basically a very kind of beginner introduction into framework management. We have administrators who manage all the data package that you guys use. And they have a similar look and feel to this, but it's much more complex. And that's how they map and attach calendars and build the data packages that have the calendar items that create different types of measures. That's all done within framework management by our administrators. And this new data module is a way for you guys to manipulate data. You can also create calculated fields in here. You can always upload, if you create this data module, and let's go ahead and save it. Or my content. Say training data module. Now you can, I'm going to show you how to upload. If you go to your, so two ways you do it. If you, on your My Content, you can always refresh this file by clicking on it and uploading it, or you can always do that from here as well, I believe. No, you have to do that from your data module, from your Excel file, because this Excel file you could have multiple data modules, right? Or if you could use this file with multiple data modules, multiple data sets, multiple dashboards, and you don't have to replace the data in each one. All you have to do is update the file here. Replace file, just put you back into your file explorer. All right. So any questions at this point with data modules? I haven't gone in too deep. But that's about as much I can share. But please reach out to me with more questions, and maybe offline I can help you more. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring up our agenda. So dynamic dashboards, we can do in dynamic dashboards drill throughs to other dashboards. How to attach photos and logos, explain widget filters, introduce creating calculated fields. So a lot of these things I've covered already. I'm going to go back over. I may not have showed you how to create drill through to another dynamic dashboard. I'm going to do that now. And that's going to segment me into kind of where I want you guys to get to at the end of class, where you can create a report and be able to drill through from a dynamic dashboard to a detailed report, where you can filter your data, find where your highest risks are, what incidents maybe haven't been completed, export that data and share that with your team. And there's multiple purposes, multiple uses for it. But I'm going to go through a couple more things on dynamic dashboards, and then I'm going to skip to section 6, introduction to report authoring. And we're going to go over actual creation of reports, creating tabs, or excuse me, tables, creating crosstabs and charts and graphs. And then I'm going to swap these out on the agenda and also on the invites. And then the last week, we're going to be going back into dynamic dashboards and doing drill throughs from dynamic dashboards into reports. All right. So let's go to my recent dynamic dashboard. Put this in team content. I shared this with you guys so you could use it if you wanted to. Okay, so this is the dashboard I've created so far. And a great feature on dashboards and in reports is being able to drill down into the details of other reports, which will carry through the filters you've got here. So you can see maybe detailed data, much more detailed data, be able to export that data. For example, I believe I showed you in our team dashboards, our module dashboards. I'll just go over this function again. Let's look at integrated incident management. So this is a workspace. You know, we don't use workspaces that often. They're here for you to use. You can explore how to build them, but they're slowly going to be phased out. You can see the kind of older technology. The filters are a little busy. But my purpose here is to show you the drill through technology. So you can see here, these are all hyperlinks, okay? So this will tell you that it has a drill through to an underlying report. Now, if you hover over these bars, you can see that there are also, there's a little hand pops up, and that will tell you, it'll drill through to the underlying data associated with that month, okay, the total recordable count. It's going to give you all the details, okay, of those incidents. If I click on this restricted duty, it's going to run the filters in my child report, give me the details of that incident. Okay. Now, whether this could be, doesn't have to be incident details, could be action items. Okay. So say I want to look at my pending action items. Okay. Which means that they are, they're pending review and approval. If I want to look at my overdue action items, okay, like we'll have a report or a dashboard that I see at a certain location that I want to drill through to the underlying data, click on it, and it'll filter through. So this is a great way to filter your data, find the details, take this report, export it, filter it here for an individual. For example, I want to look at Dexter King. I can filter for this. Okay, drill up, unfreeze column headers. Or maybe what I'll be able to do is to, oh, screw that up. You can export this and then filter it, or filter it by assigned by. There's lots that you can do with these type. Run this report to Excel, run it to HTML, view in Excel, all kinds of stuff that you can do in these reports. So remember, these are the child reports. This is what I'm going to show you how to build in report build. I'll show you all the details from your rolled up measures that you're building in your dynamic dashboards. So that's the concept again. And I'm going to be showing you how to do that over the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. But let me show you the concept first of all. So we put it here in the edit mode, and I can show you very easily how to drill into another dynamic dashboard. Say if I clicked on this October, okay. Now if I right click on it, and I go to drill through your target, oh, I've already set this up. I set this up for my other class. It's going to drill through to a secondary dashboard that I've already created, okay? Now this is just an example. It doesn't have like the details that I was showing to you, maybe for action items, but it's just essentially a function within your dashboards that will take you into another object, whether it's a report or whether it's another dynamic dashboard. Okay? And setting that up, what we would do is not click on the data item, but click on your screen. I'm going to pin this back up here. So if you click on the entire widget and then come up to your toolbar on top, select drill through, it's going to give you the drill through options that you've set up. If I click on manage, this is the dashboard that I had previously set up. Now I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to show you how to set up a new drill through to a new child report or dashboard. If I select drill through, manage, oh, I didn't delete this. So let's delete this, click OK, apply. All right, now do it. Add new drill through, got rid of that. Now here I'm going to drill through to I'm going to try to find a report that I have that makes a little bit more sense. Here, class period standards. I'm going to choose this report. I'm not really sure what this report is, but what it's going to do is it's going to pull up a selection of parameters that I have in both the parent report and in the child report. So on the left-hand side, it's or dashboard. It's going to have the IMS not classified report prompts, which are going to be location code and date of incident. And it's going to have the associated filters in my parent report that I want to link to. Now, there's only a couple filters in this child report, so there's no other options, but it's going to automatically link these two. I want to apply to this definition to this visual only, all the visuals that connect to the same data source, or any visualization on the dashboard that uses the same data source. Okay? I just want to use this visualization only. Now I want to select July. Now I right click if I want to actually drill through to the report. Select my drill through. Or you could go to the bar up top. And there was only one selection. And here it's going to prompt me because I didn't really have I had the date item in the dashboard, but I hadn't selected the filter. I'll select OK. And there's no data available. Okay, that didn't work so well, but I hope you get the concept. Okay, so the idea is you can have a parent report or parent dashboard. And if you build your filters correctly, and I didn't really plan that, but I'm going to build. We're going to build a report that has all the same filters you're looking at here: level 0, level 1, calendar year, incident record status. This isn't really a filter that you care too much about. It's a hard-coded filter, so we won't create a parameter filter there. But we're going to bring in information like incident department, employee employee name, or I think this is employee full name, incident type, primary owner for action items. So you can create, like for example, here, Peter Beck. I want to drill through into Peter Beck's overdue count. Okay, so for me to be able to drill that through, I need to create a one or multiple reports that I can drill through. Now just remember overdue count of action items, and when I create a table in a table report, in reports, I'm going to pre-build it to run off of this dashboard. And we're going to create a link between the two. So all of my filters gets passed through, and I can look at the details why Peter Beck has so many open or overdue action items. Okay. So any questions on that? That might have confused you a little bit when it didn't work, but I hope you recognize that in these dashboards, we've taken months and years to build these, and you've got all kinds of information if you like playing with these. I mean, this makes you a little dizzy looking at it. This is another reason why we're getting rid of these older dashboards, creating more improved production reports. Okie doke. So, are there any questions that I've got so far that we're going to shift gears? Oh, there's a couple of the things I wanted to show you how to add visuals to not visuals, but how to add an image to a dashboard, like a company logo. For example, here you open up your bottom widgets, select your image, you bring this in. You want to put your logo. You use this for reports or dashboards as well. Here, I'm going to go to I'm going to go to our process map software. And what we need to do is find a logo, copy this image. Oops, not copy the image, copy the image link, image address. And hope this works again. Paste this in here. It's not valid. Okay. I'm going to do my search again. Bear with me. So if I find a image that I want to use that is not a secure location, and copy that image. See where it has the S? I need to find one that doesn't have the S. And then you can copy in images. Now they can be photos, they can be an image of body parts. If you want to do a injury by body part guy, put them in there. You can do whatever you'd like, and then you can sort, change, manipulate it like that. So it's a nice way to clean up and tidy up. You can also do this in reports, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, if you want to export an image like on an Excel file or a PDF file, this is just a link to an actual, I copy the URL address, put it in there, just linking this image back into here. Now, if you want that to come through on a Microsoft product, we have to add it to your image library. Our process map administrator needs to add that to your back-end data files. So if you need that for your reports to export to Excel or to PDF, just put in a support ticket and add and attach a PNG or JPEG file of your image, and we can make those available for you. All right. All right, so shifting gears, let's get started in learning how to build reports. Now, as I said, let me just clean up my browsers here. I got a lot open. Okay, so building reports. Now, reports are really Cognos's marquee way of displaying and analyzing data. Now, they've been around for 30 years, where dynamic dashboards have been around for about 5 years. So the functionality level is much, much higher. You can do a lot more. You can sort your data, display your data, filter your data, just about any way you can imagine. And I've been working with the reports for about 5 years now, and I'm still learning stuff just about every week that I did not know before. I learn things when I teach class. That's why you got to keep an open mind when you're teaching these classes, because there's guys that work at IBM that don't know all the tricks of what they've got. It's such a huge company, obviously. So let's get started, and we're going to let me take a look real quick at our agenda. So I want to stick with this as close as possible. Okay. Okay, so how do we create a report? Very similar. Go to your new. create a report.
Benjamin,
Yes?
when we started with the reports, I have one specific questions which is related to the dashboards. In my dashboards, I don't catch how do it one thing related to show my annual target in my graphs. So if you are able to maybe help me with this.
Okay. Yeah, let me go back real quick and I can help. Let me cancel out of here. So now, are you using a KPI?
No,
What type of chart are you using?
I have already done the chart, but my specific question is if I'm using just the column chart, it's a simple column chart, and there is possible put some target value. And I'm created some annual increasing target per weeks, per 52 weeks per year. And my questions is if I'm able to pick up the value from the process map because the target is different for any location. So I'm filtering the data on the chart by the location. I'm showing how many incidents were reported every week, and I'm increasing the value per week. So on the beginning we are on the 0, and on the current week we are on the for example 500 reported incidents, and the target per year is 600. And every location has or have a different target, and I am able to pick up or looking for the value from structure of the data module and to some packages, dynamic module and something like this, because that's a little bit
Okay, so
hard for me.
I think what you're looking for are the goals that we've got created and established within the setup lookup information, location setup. Let's go to module setup, and then injury and illness, workflow, goal setup. So this is where you set up goals for incidents, incident rates in the application, or are you setting this up in sustainability and performance management? Or do you
Yes,
want to create you can create your own goal that is for specific location that you only use. You can hard code it. Using these goals, these are challenging, and you have to use queries to filter for your goal value, and then by location or by level, you can add that to. I mean, that's a very detailed, very high level report. I do have some reports that I've built for some clients that use that information on a crosstab or a list view. And you and I can go offline and I can teach you how to use these goal values. But they are not linked to the actual data tables in your incident details. They're in your setup.
yes, exactly. Yes, that's what the problem for me. I'm try it, but it's not possible to link together.
Yeah, I can show you how to do that. That's high level, and maybe you send me an email, and I can show you of some times you have later this week. But I'm gonna need to teach you how to create queries and link queries by location ID. It's complex. So, and you hopefully you'll be able to do it at the end of this class, or maybe if we talk about it offline, but that's not something you can do in a dynamic dashboard. You can, however, create a goal field, for example, to create a calculated field. Okay.
Yes, I know.
And
But
you,
only for one value, for one location, at the exact value.
yeah, or you could do it for a year. case when calendar year equals 2020, then your value is 600, okay?
Mm.
Case when your calendar year equals 2021, it is 550, okay?
Mhm.
Then, you know, do you want me just to create that expression real quick and how it works? Yeah, I won't do too much here, but I want to show you how this will lay out in your visual.
Mm. That's clear for me. I'm using it.
Pardon me?
Okay, I understood. That's clear for me. I'm using
Okay,
this.
good. Okay. So this is your injury goal. And I'll show you how this works in a field. So let's get our column chart. So you see this target value here,
Mhm.
okay?
Mhm.
So we're going to filter here by 3 years. Okay, so let's just pick our 3 years that we've got in there. Okay,
Mhm.
and we're gonna pick, say, you pick any of your data. So let's just pick incident details, injury, near miss. Not details on measures, sorry. Just pick total number of incident cases. So this is length. Okay. And then let's just make this easy. Time information, calendar year equals your bars. Okay. Let's see your properties. So and you could do it several ways. You could do a line, or you could do the target,
Yeah, of course.
right? So chart, let's just show your values. All right, I was close on my numbers. Okay, now what we want to do, go back to our fields. Let's grab our injury goal, put this into target. Okay. Invalid, syntax error. If I have an error in my goal, let me take this out. Let me just make sure I validate this correctly. Case when equals. So validate it. I think that was the error. Okay, that's good. Let's bring that goal back in. And it'll give you this line goal. Okay.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, for using your values at that you set up for each location, each level, because you can set up values and your goals don't roll up. You can't really filter up through your data and have your goals kind of follow along. So you can either create something like this, something with a bar or a line that are your goals, or or use performance management. And in performance management, you've got it's built for doing that. Okay, it's built for creating goals and having all that data roll up correctly.
That's exactly what I'm creating, this performance dashboard. That's the last thing what I need to solve. I have the dashboard already finished, so.
Okay, well, why don't you send me an email with some times that you have available over the next week, and we can look at it in a little more detail. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
This is a good way to look at targets. Also, if you tried to use the KPI here, you can set targets here also.
Yep.
Values, and this will give you a percent over your target, percent under your target. These are very handy. All right.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get let's move on. I'm going to start into let's get into creating a report again. All right, so it's very similar to your dynamic dashboard landing page. As soon as you create a new one, you can use these templates, or you can use a blank screen. I typically always use blank. You can add in themes if you want to set up colored themes if you want. I never do. I think it defaults to this blue. Click OK. Same thing, you want to select a data source. I'm going to stick with incident management. Okay. Now, so you see it's the same data package. The icons are a little bit different, but it's primarily the same. Okay. Now, the navigation's a lot different. You don't just have all of your options down here. And I'm going to go through this with you and spend some time and really showing you as much as, I can't show you everything, but I want to show you the navigation aspects so you can start learning to understand how to navigate between the different elements of a report. Okay. Now you start off with your insertable objects. Okay. You have two buckets. You've got your data, because it's the same data tree. You have a search function. It's not quite as robust because it's not going to show you what folder it is. Like if I look at record status, not records, but record status, it'll show me all the options. Look how many record statuses you have, but it doesn't show me what folder it's in, so I don't know what it's applied to. Okay. If you do need to search for data items in a report, you might want to have a dashboard open. You can search for it here and then come back to your record status and find it in your report when you found where it is, and then just navigate through your folders to find it. But they are getting better. At least now they do have a search function. This is brand new with the new version update. Okay, so your data items behaves exactly the same. It's no different. Next, you have your tools. Okay, so this before you used to have in your dynamic dashboard. It's very similar here to these tools here because you've got either your visuals or some of other widgets that you can plonk in there, okay? And that's basically it for your tools. Now in reports, you've got more tools than you can literally shake a stick at here. So this is if you're pulling in text items, blocks, tables, list. The list here is a list report that in Dynamic Dashboard is called a table. Now a table here is a formatting table, okay? Now formatting, we're going to get into tables and formatting once we start building reports. So don't worry about it. We also got crosstabs and then other visualizations. Now if you see the plus in the middle of your screen, you open up a table, you can create a grid of different options where you can click on the plus, you can add visualizations, okay, or you add text. So this is how you format a report, okay? You can just drag and drop in visuals, crosstabs, and it will self-format. But if you want the controlling value or effort or report, you're going to want to use a table. When I actually start building some dashboard or some reports, I will show you again how to use a table. Okay? And visualization, you can just drop it in. Here's all your new ones that we just have. You can go to the 11.0 visuals. You can go to legacy visualizations. And these are going back in style over the years. But you've got a lot more to choose from. Whether you've got waterfalls, gauges, if you like gauges, network diagrams, multiple types of line visuals, whether they're smooth, straight, with markers, eye charts, different kinds of heat maps. If you like Gantt charts, if you're into project management, you can use Gantt charts. And then you have the old style charts, and these are really the most powerful. You know, and then you've got it all. You even got Pareto charts here, if you like Pareto charts. So as you can see, the reports have a lot more, you know, options to choose from. Okay, now we get even more down here. Again, text items is going to be in two places. Query calculation. This is very similar to the calculation that I just created for a goal, but you've got a lot more functionality, and we're going to get into intermediate classes. We're going to learn a little bit more about this. You've got layout calculation. If you want to do a calculation directly from a table or crosstab, basically using summary values, you can do that as well. You've rich text items you can put in hyperlinks. You want to create a dashboard with links to other reports and other dashboards, like create your own homepage. You can do that within the table and add a bunch of links to reports that you have here or links to other sources. Date and time. This will bring in the date that you run the report. So if you're building headers and footers, you can use date, time, page number, row numbers, as of time expression. I've never really used this one. I'll shrink these up a little bit. Layout. Again, you can use your image file that we used before. Tables and blocks help you format the style of your report. Data containers. Again, you've got a data table. This is a brand new type of data table. A lot more functionality than a list. Again, you have your list and your crosstabs from your pinned up here. Visualization, map manager map, repeater table, repeater singleton. These are some higher level. If you got a repeater value, like it's a multiple choice for like body part injured, and you're creating a table and it's showing up multiple rows because you've got multiple body parts selected, it's going to duplicate that that incident information unless you either use a repeater or you group the other columns on the left-hand side. I'll get into that later. Prompting, this is for building prompt pages and filters, okay? If you've run reports yet, this is where you use to build prompts that you have on your prompt pages. Now there's other ways to build prompts. I'm gonna teach you how to create a parameter prompt for your drill through the drill through report. Actually, I'm gonna teach you how to build a do it through a prompt wizard, and then I'm going to show you how to manipulate that. Some of these prompts I've never used: tree prompt, interval prompt, time prompt, time and date prompts I use, select and search I use, value prompt, text box prompt. This is if you want a free text, but you've got to be perfect. Prompt buttons, these are all important. Advanced, we're not going to get into this. It's advanced, and I rarely use these myself when I build reports. Okay, so those are your tools. You've got, as you can see, you've got a lot more functionality, okay? So now let's look at the structure of our report. Now, reports are going to have different elements. We've got the overall report. You're going to have pages associated with the report. Right now, we're on the first page, page 1. You can create as many pages as you like. And then you can sort those pages to be more like tabs in a dashboard. It's a very cool function. You got a prompt page. A prompt page is what you look at when you run a report. So if I go to my reports, say I want to summary of open versus closed action items, I run this. This is your prompt page, okay? And this is a separate page to what you're going to see in your body of your report itself. Now I'm going to select from January 1st, run this report. And these are your actually pages of your report. This is what we're going to be building. This is what's called a list report, okay? Looks like just like a table, but it has summary tabs that you can add and manipulate. Okay? Now, if you are interested in this type of report, but you might want to manipulate it, it's not built the way you like, definitely feel free to run the report, click on Save As, and save that in your files, and then you can start manipulating and changing that report, okay? Especially if you have a detailed version of the report. And yeah, that's what we might do. We might do incident investigations, counts. We don't have any detailed reports up yet, but you can filter down through incident reports. We have really good reports here. Summary of incidents reported on time, incident investigation completion report, compilation of safety metrics on a 12-month rolling period, summary of incident case management data, summary of lost time by location. And we're building more. We'll come out with 3 or 4 more new ones over the next 2 weeks or so. They'll come out in class. All right. Sorry, I digress. Go back to our new report. So that's a prompt page. Queries. Queries are a little bit challenging concept to grasp when you're beginning to build reports. They're extremely important. especially the more advanced you get, and learning that in your data items, there isn't always a direct one-to-one relationship with data items from certain areas in your report. For example, Roman was just talking about using the setup and lookup values here for goals, and then using that with your counts of your incidents by location. You've got to put this in a query, filter it the way you want, and then join it to this data. Join these two queries. A query is basically a subset of data, a smaller subset of data that will run much quicker. Now, if you try to filter data with all your data sets, data items in a query, and then join that, they'll run and run forever. The idea behind queries is you get small sets of data that you can manipulate and filter in certain ways, whether you want to look at filter by time period, like you have a previous year filter, you have a current year filter, okay? And you've got incidents filter for your previous year, current year, you join those together, and then you can show those, for example, in the same visual, or maybe filter one by past 3 months, and another one by the past 3 years. Anyway, there's billions of different combinations of how you can create queries, filter them differently, join the data. It lets you be a lot more powerful for really getting into your data than, say, a dynamic dashboard. So queries are very important, and I'm going to keep going back to them, so there's going to be a lot more in queries. Classes, this has to do with your classes of your objects. I don't really get into these much. I don't really use them. They're kind of an afterthought. Also, your variables. This is high level. I don't even get involved with these kind of Boolean string variables. I really haven't explored this myself. Okay, we're going to stick to the report pages. Report has. And let me stop there, and we're going to go through each one of these. So for every element in your report, whether it's or in your you look in your dynamic dashboards, okay, you've got properties, okay. Here I've got properties for this visual, okay, where you can set the values, okay, or set the preferences, set your properties. If you click on your dashboard, you can have your dashboard properties, okay. You click on your tab, or you've got tab properties somewhere in your tab. They're your tabs, okay. Now, the same concept here is in reports, okay? But if I clicked on my reports here, this is my overall report properties, different styles, okay? Which language, the name, you can change the name here. Page breaking for HTML, view pages as tabs. This is what I talked about before. Paginate saved, HTML output, all kinds, grouping, repeating, report to Excel's, PDF setup, all kinds of settings in your properties for the overall aspect of your report, okay? Now, if you look at your page, okay, you are going to have page 1, you're going to have all kinds of styles and settings as well here, okay? Then we're going to get into your visuals. You're going to have properties for a visual. You're going to have properties for a table. You're going to have properties for a crosstab. You're going to have properties for a singleton. Okay. Every element of your reports are going to have their own specific and distinct properties pane. Okay. So that's going to be important for you guys to understand. If you want to change something, if you want to modify something, the way it looks, the way it behaves. Remember how to find the properties of that element. Same go with queries. We don't have any queries created, so you won't be able to see the properties of your queries. And prompt pages as well. Don't have a prompt page, but you create one here. Then you can see all the creation of your prompt pages. Okay. Now let's move on to your other aspects. So let's go to your reports, go back to your page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start a quick table. And I'm going to go for 3 by 5. Oops. I'm not going to maximize it yet. Why don't I go ahead and maximize so you can see what that looks like. So this is going to maximize my table that I can start building reports. So I'm just going to go ahead and start building a simple list report. Start bringing in data so I can start showing you the different aspects, like the toolbar. It's very similar toolbar that you saw on your dashboard, and also your properties. Okay. Now you don't have a field. You don't have a fields property and a property pane that's all mixed up into one. Okay. So I'm just going to click in the middle here. I'm going to add a list report. Okay. So list name. I'm just going to call it the details. And this is going to be my details. Now I'm going to leave it as query, as just as query number 1 for now. But you can change your query. You can change it for, for different reasons. And I'm not going to get too deep into queries yet. We're going to create everything out of one query so I don't get you too confused, all right? So next, what we're going to do is we're going to start pulling in some data items. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a simple list report that's going to aggregate data in incident management, hours worked, and number of incidents based off of your organizational structure. Okay, just very simple, nothing too crazy. And then I'm going to create another page for our details. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to start off with my organizational structure, just like what we do in our reports. I'm going to drop in level 2 here. If you notice here, it's not rendering any visuals, okay, any data. It's because I've got it in design mode. If you look up here, you've got page design. If you put down here, you've also got page preview and page structure. We primarily stay in page design and page preview. If I put it in preview, it's going to render my values. Okay. And at this point, I could select one value. And you notice when I select different aspects of the visual, my toolbars change, and so do my properties. And here, if I click on this, this shows my oh God, I forget what this thing is called. This is my ancestor. Okay, this basically shows your hierarchy of your structure of the elements of your report. So if I click on this, I've got page, page body, table, table row, table cell, okay? And then below that is list, okay? Now if I select on list column title, then look at my hierarchy. I'm going to go from page, page body, all the way down to list column. Okay. Now, if I select on a value, list column body, oops, it even goes a little bit farther. Okay. Now, see the three little dots? This is important. This gets frustrating for people. See the three little dots up here in the corner? You need to click on that to select the whole list. Three little dots on top of your table. Select on that to select your whole table. Okay. So this lets you render and change the style of your entire table. So if you want to put a border around your table, through your table, that's where you can do that here. Okay. You ever used Excel and you have control over your tables? You ever done some border formatting? This is a very similar type of thing. So essentially, you're building your building blocks here for your entire table and your formatting. Okay. All right. So let's start building. Those are pretty much the details I wanted to show you. I am going to filter now by geography, just so I can shorten down my data. Now, in our dynamic dashboards, you'd simply grab that again, grab this value again, drag it up top, and then filter by the value. But here, your options would be to build a prompt for it to filter it, or select here, including creating a custom filter, or edit existing filters. Okay, so creating a custom filter, I can create individual filters where I can select here. I can manually input items, paste here by your delimiter. I don't want to use that. I can create a condition, keep these values, make them case sensitive. There's all kinds of different options for you to filter here. But I'm going to make it very simple. Just click on it. Select your filters and include by geography. Remember, you always want to filter by geography or by level 0, or you're going to have duplicate data. So here, now I'm going to start pulling in my different levels because I want to have a nice rolled up chart or table of, and I'm going to go select again by North America. So I know I've got good data there. And I'm going to go right to selection of, wait a second, let's select 2, just to show you that option. Select North America, control Europe. Now go to my filters here. And it has both values. I can include or exclude them. Let me include them. Now I'm going to add my locations. And here are all my locations in Europe and everything here. Okay. Now I'm actually going to start adding some data, show you some grouping and some other functions. If you try to build a table in or what's called a chart in dynamic dashboards, or it's called a table, excuse me, it's not chart, it's called a list in reports, it would start automatically grouping your values in your table, so you wouldn't get all these multiple lines. And I'm going to show you how to do that, but you have to do that manually. Because you may or may not want to group them. Okay. So now what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start looking at some measures for my report. So let's start looking at my hours count, employees and supervised contractor hours, very important. If you can see, if I don't hit it right, it's going to add a singleton or a value somewhere out. You need a data container to drop your data into, okay? So if you miss, if you want to drop your data into a list, you've got to have this blinking line. If you cross too far over, you're going to drop it outside of your list or your table, okay? Go over center, it'll go in between, just like that. I drop that there, beautiful. Now, this is great, but I want to group this information so I don't have it all discombobulated like this, okay? You got Europe, North America, it's all over the shop. So how do I do that? It's called a group function, okay? And at this point, I'm going to show you how to group, and then I'm going to show you a lot more of the functions up here on top. So what we want to do is we want to group first two levels here. And this is my group and ungroup. I group this. And what it's going to do, it's going to automatically group my data by geography, by level 0, and by level 1, and have all my locations on the single lines that are not, so there's no stuff.
Can you show me that one more time, please? The grouping.
Okay, so let's go back. So you can control, click. You can either do it in the data item values, or you can do it on the titles, the labels for the columns. And there's this function right here, group and ungroup. So I can group them. And then, of course, obviously, you can ungroup them if you want to get rid of the group. Okay. Okay, this looks good. So now at this point, I am going to pause. Got a very simple list report. You're aggregating data. You got a report. You've got it, you know, a visual by all your locations. And I'm going to pull some incidents in here. Why don't I grab incidents as well, just to make this a little more interesting. Okay, automatically groups these values. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at our table, at our toolbar up here. I'm going to go through these. There's going to be a lot to be here, a lot here. So this function is unlocking your toolbar. So in the past, if you've taken the class before the upgrade, you didn't have a choice. This was a floating toolbar. Okay, if you unlock it, it's going to float here right above whatever item you select. Okay. So it's an option. You can also go to your options and show demand toolbar on right click. Okay. Select that and your toolbar will, okay, why is it not doing it on demand? That function doesn't seem to work too well. But anyway, I showed you something I hadn't shown you before. And this is your options button. Okay, I'm not showing you a full screen. Give me a second. on my aspect. Let me clean this up a little bit. Okay, here we go. So if you see these three little dots here next to page preview, this is lock and unlock if you want to unlock cells and play with the data. Page preview I showed you. This little more button gives you a whole bunch of other options. Important ones to show is the options down here. Okay, where you can, where I just showed you on-demand toolbar. This is an important one. Edit. There's some edit option functions, overall functions you can set. Report, automatic group and summary behavior for lists. This is very important. If you don't want to put summary values here, you uncheck this box, and it won't give you summary values until you tell it to do so. And then advanced, of course, is advanced. There's a lot of options in here. There's a lot of functionality that I haven't explored yet, but I just wanted to show you those two for grouping. Automatic summarization by grouping, you can turn it on and off, and also your floating toolbar. See, this floating toolbar is now floating. It wasn't before, so now I've pinned it back up top. Okay. That's your floating toolbar. Cutting. This is kind of like your cutting of values or columns or rows in an Excel file. What this is going to do, it's going to cut my level 0 or whatever I've got highlighted out of the visualization. Okay. Now it's cut, but it's also copied. So I can paste that somewhere else. Okay. Now I'm going to show you, but if you noticed, the values of that level 0 for geography haven't been lost. They are still dominant in my visual. Okay. Now where is that being filtered? How can I see that? That's where your queries come into effect. I go to my report, I go down to query 1, I open it up. This is my query. Okay. These are my query data items. This is my subset of all the data items that I have within the visual, including my summary of employee hours in recordable cases. And it shows my detailed filters. Okay. I've got level 0 name by geography and includes Europe and North America. Okay. So start becoming familiar and comfortable really with queries. Okay, they're very important. If you want to be very successful in creating advanced reports, get used to playing around in your queries. Let's go back to our page. We'll continue building, and I'll explain to you some more about these functions. Now we've cut out that. Now say if I wanted just to copy, I can copy a value here. If I wanted to copy this whole table, I can copy this whole table. I can go to report, my pages. I can create a new page, right? Or go up here to paste, and I can paste that table. So I need to put it into a data item. Now I can paste it into a data container. Okay. This is a really quick and easy way for you to create multiple pages and similar data, maybe filtered a different way, maybe filtered by a different level 1. Okay. Now, if you see in this report, if we run this report, run HTML, it's going to be very simple. It's going to create the 2 reports, 2 pages that we've created. I have a prompt page, that's why this is prompting me here, but there's nothing in that prompt page. I'm going to delete that. Now I've got 2 pages that are identical, okay? But where are my pages? They are one after another, and I have to page down through all my values to get to the bottom of, which is actually my first page, because there's only 20 rows per page. I can page down to my second page, okay? Now, how am I going to fix that? I want to clean it up. So I want to have tabs up top that really show you my 2 pages. And I want to be able to see all of my rows on one page when I scroll down. Okay, you notice how it's opened up a new browser window. You can leave it the way it is, because next time you run it, it'll close this report. Okay. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm going to put this into the shared team content folder in case you guys want to use this report. You're more than welcome. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to be able to make this a tabbed report. I go to report, and I think I pointed it out when we were looking at the properties for a report. Here we have view pages as tabs, top left. Go to my pages. Still have 2 pages. The icons have changed with a little tab next to it instead of just a sheet. Okay. Want to go to page 1. Now I want to click on my list. So this list, and you see it in preview mode, you're not actually paging down, you're paging through the data, okay? Because you've got page within a page, essentially. Well, I don't like that, okay? I want to make this show up all my data on one page. So I'm going to make this 500 rows per page. You see my pages went away below, and I can scroll down through all my data. Okay. Now let's go to page 2 and do the same thing. Now I'm going to delete that prompt page so it for my report. Click here and delete it. This is when I want to run my report. I don't want to see that prompt page pop up. I just want my data. Okay. Page 1, page 2. They're exactly the same, so your data doesn't filter. Okay. I'm going to eventually get rid of this chart and put something else in there. So I can't really change it because it's all using the same query. But I'm just trying to show you guys the options and the functionality. Now I'm jumping around a lot, and I apologize. Definitely going to make this available for you guys. All right. Okay, so I'm back on page 1. Okay, we're going through our toolbars. I've gone through cut, copy, paste, created a second page, showed you how to copy and paste into a second page. I can delete an object, I can delete a filter. Now, when you delete an object from a visual, it deletes it from your query. So be careful when you delete something. Cutting and deleting is very different. And if you delete it, you're also going to delete your filters that are associated with it. So if you want to keep it in your query, still filter your visuals, don't delete it, cut it. Now I've gone over your filters, or different filters you can play with. Sorting. Now you can sort within your areas by, let's do it by recordable cases. Let's do it descending. Boom. Now I know who's got the most recordable on top. But before it was defaulted by alphabetical order going left to right. But now I've overridden that with a sort function. Okay. Summarizing. Now here, this is if I want to delete my summaries. On delete, I could click on my portable cases and click on my hours, and I can total them. And they're automatically going to create the same summaries. North America overall. Okay. Sorry if this is going slow, but is what it is. All right, calculated field. Insert a calculation. I can insert calculated fields here. I could do a calculation into one of these. I don't use these up this often. You can round up. You can do all kinds of things. You can create custom calculated. You can divide by a value. You can divide by 1,000. Make up your measures. It's all things you can do here. I don't use this much often. I pretty much use my data item calculations in my query to specialize. Okay, here, explore. This is exploring data. I'm not going to get into this. I haven't really used this function. It's a brand new function. I can suppress values. I can suppress null values. I can suppress rows. I can look at my suppressing options, divide by zeros, missing values, overflow values. Okay, if you've shown up with a lot of zeros here and you want to get rid of them, this is where you can do that. Group on group I went over. This next one is section. Section is pretty cool if you want to create different options for your reports and section them differently. I use this occasionally for specialized reports. You see, I clicked on level 1 and I sectioned it. It just pulls everything, separates it out, but it automatically groups as well. So you got to be careful when you're using that. It's added another grouping here. So you can two things you can do. I just click your back arrow to get rid of it. Be careful with sectioning and undoing it and doing it. If you ever get stuck, look in your report. Like for example, if I go ahead and section that again, you're trying to understand what's happening in this report, what's going on. Report, click on your pages. Oops. It's not showing up here. It's a bad example. Apologies. Take this back. That's sectioning. Okay, so now we're getting into formatting. Okay, so you can format, say I want to format my top row of headers. I can format from here, font and text, color and background, or I can use my simple widgets here. Okay, I do text, do bold, and create this font. I want to use white. Okay. use white because I want to use a background. If I want to change my color, see already you've got huge amounts of options for creating very stylistic reports that you didn't have in your dynamic dashboards. Okay. Now, say I like, let's just go back. Say I changed font and I want to show you this dropper. So let's say I wanted to create bold. I want to do foreground of white. Just make this blue, make it easy. Now, what if I wanted to then, instead of control clicking on them, I use my dropper, pick up all styles here, and then I click on these or whatever elements, click on my dropper, and it'll copy your formatting over. Here, default, left, right, you can center your data, center your information, put it to the right. You can do this in your data items as well. Center it. I really like that. Let's go back to the left. Okay, I missed this one. Now I'm in my data items. You've seen this icon up here. This is data format. Okay. This is really important because if you notice your hours, they just show up at very random. Not very easy to read formatting. It's going to default this way. So 2 ways to do it. Go to your data here in your properties. Click on this for your formatting. Or you can click in your format up here. Now you can, depending on if it's a ratio, you're going to want to use percent. You want to change it from a ratio to a percentage. You want to make this a number or a currency. You've got all different types of international currencies, all kinds of options. If you want to keep it at just a regular number value here, decimal places, typically 0. You even have to say, yes, I want to use 1,000 separator. It will default to a comma, but you can create whatever you want. For our European friends, they use dots, I believe. So creating reformatting. You noticed it didn't change my summary values. Those are different fields. So what can I do? Choose my dropper. Pick up data format. I don't want to pick up all the styles because I don't want to overwrite the styles I've written. And click on all my data summary items. Click on my pen, my dropper, and it's formatted just my numbers without wiping out my coloring. Okay. And then, of course, this is your vertical orientation as well. And this is creating new styles. I don't really use this, but it's another formatting option that you can use. You want to create styles and save them and reuse them. All right, everybody, that was a lot, and I'm sure you've got overload just like I do. So I can pause here for questions. This is a very simple report, very simple. Now you don't want to use this by numbers. You can use this for details. You can see the same grouping. We're going to create a detailed report or a drill through the same kind of list report. I'm going to create that on this page 2. I'm going here. I'm going to delete web request fails, probably because I've timed out. Yeah, I've timed out my data. Next week we're going to continue, and I'm going to create a pie chart. I'm also going to create a bar chart. And we're going to show all the same kind of functionality for filtering. Oh, there's one thing I want to show you. So remember when we have our filters that we need to use for your injury and illness status equals active. There's two ways to add that. You can just click it and drag it in here anywhere into your chart. Query one is now filtered by injury status equals active. Okay. Go to your query, look at my query, and there's my filter. Okay. But just delete that. I could have also just dragged and dropped that here. I could have go into I could look and find my incident details, common details, general details. Go to my incident record status. Click on this, filter this report, active. Boom, I created the same filter. So there's lots of ways. And so this was the data item that we used to create this filter. Our team has already created this filter for you up here, so you can use it there as well. So these are just shortcut filters that we've built. Also employee type, you can drag that in as well. If you're correcting visitor information on incidents or contracted employees that you're not tracking in your OSHA reports, you need to use this filter. All right, that was a lot. Hope you got out of a lot of it. Lost quite a few people, but a lot of people have other stuff to do. All right, everybody. Any other questions on reports before we adjourn close for the day? No, we're all good. Maybe somebody's talking, they're not unmuted.
Ben, this is Arvind. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So let me share my screen real quick here.
Sure.
Hey, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
So I mean, I just created, like, I tried to replicate what you showed us right now. And then when I went to add total, if you see here, it's giving me totals like, by, so what I did is I created level 1, 2, sorry, 0, 1, 2. So that's geography, North America, United States, and all the locations. So when I clicked on this column to create totals, like I can see like the totals for North America geography, and then these two also showed up. So I was not sure where I was.
Well, what you can do, there's a couple things you can do. Just you can do one. I don't know how that happened because I didn't see the order in which you did it. But I think you pulled in something after you already grouped, right?
Yeah, probably. I think I grouped these two. So let me ungroup and see.
Yeah, you've got, you've got geographies not grouped. Yeah. So just ungroup everything. Ungroup those two. Yeah. Well, you didn't group recordables. You don't need that. Okay, so no, slow down. Put it in design mode. Okay. So you can actually see what's going on. All right. So let's just delete all the location level totals. Okay, you've got location level grouped. So let's just delete all your subtotals. Yeah, just click on delete. Don't click cut, click delete. All the green bars delete.
Sorry. So I just click on the particular row and just delete it.
Yeah, just start hitting delete on your keyboard. Just get rid of them. And it's going to clean up your visual and you'll be able to see what's going on. All right, so click on level 2 name and click on group. All right, now ungroup your other two. All right. So now you click in order, control, select level 1, 2, 0. Oh, wait, you've got 0 in front of level 1. That's your main problem. There you go. Well, you had it. You go all the way over to the right. Yep, you lost it. Oh, you can't click and drag. You have to click on the data item. Just click on the data item, level 1 name. No, just click in your visual. No, not the label, the data item below. Click on that. Now click control and drag that over. Okay, you have to take the bar to the right-hand side. There you go. Okay,
got it.
now you can click on those first 3 levels. Now group. Okay. Now you can sum. Now you want to do summary, and this will group it. So you turned off your, group it by totals. Yep, that's good. No, you're good.
Just submit.
Yeah, just click sum.
Yeah, but still it's showing me the same total.
Well, yeah, because you've filtered for United States only. Those are your, you've made those filters yourself. Go to your query. No, just go to your navigation, go to where it says report. It's your upper left, upper left of your page. There you go. Click on query number 1. Okay, you see you have all these filtered. So now filter, double click on, well, first of all, just delete your filter for level 2 name. In your detailed filters. Okay, double click on North America, that filter. Open it up. Okay, so now you can pick, this is going to show all of your visuals. So best thing to do here, that's unfiltered by level 0. So just cancel out of this. Delete level 1 name filter as well. Okay, now go back to your page. Okay. Now this is showing everything under geography. Now, if you want to click on Asia Pacific and Europe and North America only, just control click on those data items. Not the label, the data item. Yep, there you go. So now control click on Europe, North America. Now go to filter. Okay, click on that. Click on
First one.
include. Yep, include. So now if you scroll down, you're going to see you've only got those 3. Okay, now click on your, yep. Does that look better?
I mean, right now it's still giving me United States total, North America, geography,
Different
overall.
values. You've got a couple in there for Canada, not much.
Okay, so it's giving, so let's say if I don't want to separate it like this, I want to see just the North America values. So I should just go here and add my own filter, right?
No. Go to edit filters. Edit filters. Double click on level 1 name. And then uncheck those, yeah.
So I just select,
Oh, wait, you want to select which is, yeah, North America. I think you've got it in there. You scroll down, you'll find it. Yeah, I don't know. Your filters are all messed up. Yeah, I don't know how you got all those in there. I'd remove all those items.
on the right
I don't
side.
know how yeah, your filters got messed up. I just delete all your filters and start over. I'm not sure how you got all those, or you can remove them here. Yeah, just delete them. Delete all those. Just keep North America.
Okay, yeah, now it's aligned. If you see, showing for Canada, Mexico, United States, and it's showing United States total. And it's showing North America total. Okay, yeah, I think now it's correct. I got it.
Okay. Yeah, you got to be careful with when you adding things in the middle and you've got things filtered and you've got them you know, you've got them grouped, you've got them summarized. You can get kind of all tangled up in your underwear there. You know what I mean? You just gotta reset sometimes, go into your query, clear things out, clear out your filters, and then start fresh. And then sometimes you can mess it up so bad, you might as well delete it and start all over again.
Okay, but so in order to group, you have to use the header. But let's say if I
No.
want,
You don't have to use that, or you can use those.
okay, you can just select the fields.
Mhm.
Okay. That's what.
When you're grouping, I highly recommend you put it in, and you're using summaries, always put it into design view.
Okay, so that you will
Because
know like
you
what's
could
grouped.
really, yeah, it'll show your structure, it'll show you what is grouped, it'll show you how it's leveled. You can delete that overall total because that's just the same as the level 0 total down at the bottom.
Okay.
This view really helps you clean things up. Okay. Any other questions before we close for the day?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay. Anybody else? No, we're good.
I have one question at the beginning, and I'm not sure if it's because I had missed the last week, so I'll look for the recording. But looking at where you added your integrated incident management package to the new report, because I was following on your screen, but I was trying to go back and add that data source. Would you mind checking whenever I went into new report, how I select the source to get those as options?
Okay, I'll show you real quickly. Okay, so let's, I'm gonna go ahead and save this report and close it. So this is the same process I'm gonna show you for both dynamic dashboards and reports, okay?
Okay.
So click on your plus. So let's just create a report. It's a little bit different user interface. Oh, I've timed out here. I have to, I've got to close, let me close this and re-sign in. Okay, so we're in themes and templates, and I just picked the default. Okay, so you're going to have here, which you have insertable objects, okay? Now, into your report, you can select data sets, or you have to select your data. Okay? Whether it's an Excel file you've uploaded or one of our data packages we've created based off the modules you have. In order to find the data packages based off your modules, click on the plus sign, and it'll open up a file that'll open up into team content. Go to Process Map Author Library and click on that. And you'll see widgets, packages, and prompts. Click on packages. Go to integrated incident management or audit or any of your other modules. Now you're going to see your integrated IMS package, dynamic. So click on it once, your screen will go blank, and you'll have a blue button will appear. And open, click on open, and it'll load your data package. Did you get that far? Hello?
Sorry,
Kimberly?
I still missed following because I got the team content and then integrated management. Like I have like action items, case management under my team content.
Okay, we'll do that again. Did you find that where it said author library? Do you have author library here? You may not be set up. Did you click on the plus? And this plus down here, do you see report?
Plus on the bottom left. Okay, I've got report.
Okay, click on
And I had templates.
okay, click on yes. And then it'll say
So I've got like the blank template, blank report.
why don't you share your screen for me and then I'll walk you through it. I can see your content. I can see your screen. Okay, click OK. Okay, now select as data source. Select a source. Process
Okay.
author library. Packages.
That's where I messed up, was that step right there. Okay, and then integrated incident management.
Yeah. And then, hold on, you have to click on the package. There you go. Okay. And there you go.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm sorry I went too fast for you. Please stop me if you get lost, okay, next time.
Yep. That's good. And then you said you were going to send out, because last week I was not able to attend because I had to do an orientation. I didn't have coverage for somebody else. So you said that you'll have the recording from last week.
Yeah, were you at the first two sessions? Have you got?
Yes.
You got them?
Yeah, I just missed last week's.
Okay, last week's, I'll send you last week's. If I have it, it wasn't really teaching, it was just help troubleshooting and kind of show and tell of other people's data. But it wasn't really a class session, but you probably get some value out of it though, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I've got a few things. I've got kind of an idea of what I'm trying to build as far as the graphing right now, what we're trying to do, like bar charts with total incidents, and then breaking out. It's just that some of the canned reports didn't have the proper filters. So I think this will help me being able to create some out of the incident management then.
All right, perfect. Well, we'll get you rolling on building reports, Kimbra.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.